We are back.
Back again. Guess who's back? I can't believe it was the way that you said it. I couldn't not
No,
do
the way
it.
you said it made it sound like that. Did not sound like that. Anyways, I think what we're up to now is. Well, it doesn't really matter. Both will be fun. It's either the
Both will be. What do you
continuation.
mean both will be fun?
Either the continuation of the tournament arc or the
Mm-hmm.
continuation of the Gremlin arc
The
and,
Gremlin arc.
and the locked room.
Ah. Wait, who's the Gremlin though? Is it Erica?
Who do you think is the Gremlin?
Beatrice? Chick Beatrice? I don't know.
Erica.
Yes, Erica. I don't like Erica.
Something
But
wrong
you
with you.
said she's
Best
one of your
character.
favorite characters.
How can you not like Erica?
Because she's like ruining everything.
That's why she's the best.
No! You feel like you're getting to a spot and then Erica comes in and it's ruined.
Alright.
Oh, what is this beat? Um,
I think you're narrating.
I'm narrating, but there's some bits where it's like Battler and you're
Where's
taking over and
Battler
I can't.
narrating or Erica narrating, and then
Yeah,
it's
and I
like
can't.
Battler said in his mind.
I can't remember where this is.
This
Like
is
I can't. I remember like most of what happened last time, but I can't remember where it like left off.
this is immediately after she got out with Hideyoshi's permission, and she found the letter outside the mansion.
So this is Erica going rogue,
Yeah,
pretty much.
so she found the letter, and then she was like, "Alright, stop the game for a second." She talked to Butler, and then she was like, "Hey, so by the way, I put some tape in your room and sealed you in."
Yeah.
And so essentially she was like retroactively allowing them to change that, and he was like, "Nah, I'll keep it as is."
I
So
have
he's like
sand in my pop filter.
trying to save face over the bluff that he wasn't the one who put the letter there.
Yeah.
Alright, you ready?
Yeah, I think I am. Sorry, I just have you on. Oh, okay.
Sound ready.
I'm so ready.
Yawning.
The entrance to the mansion was locked, but Erica had a master key, so she opened it without any trouble. She had gotten Kraus and the others to take the master keys from the servants, and at that time she had used a little sleight of hand to pilfer one of them. Well then, where shall we go first?
I'm so disappointed I was wrong.
What do you mean you were wrong?
Because we figured she wasn't saying des all the time if she had the capitals.
Ah,
It is.
yeah.
It's still relevant to like when she does the big like des thing.
Yeah.
But like outside of that, it's just yeah. Why ask? Let's go and hear Battlerson's answer.
Grinning, Erica cut across the entrance hall and passed in front of the dining hall, deeper and deeper. She headed for the guest room Battler had lain dead in. Battler could put off deciding whether the seals would remain whole or not until the moment right before Erica witnessed them. However, once she did witness them, the game master would have to show what had happened to them. In the witch's game they were in now, the simple act of going to check the seals around the guest room was an attack. Are you ready, Lord Battler?
Yeah, or as you'd say it. Come, step forward. Good. Then show us your response. Well now, are the seals broken or are they not? Has the closed room been preserved, or hasn't it?
The piece Erica held high in the air, was the White Queen, which represented herself. Her target was Battler's camp. She attacked.
I've been playing so much chess lately.
Oh my goodness. Erica dashed down the hallway with a sickening smile and clung to the guest room door like a spider. Oh, that is a really weird image.
It's been used on there before, I'm pretty sure.
But now I'm just imagining her like clinging like something from The Grudge or something just to the door like...
Once we finish this series, I'll show you the fighting game.
Wait, what?
Remember the fighting game?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I want to show you that.
Is she like a spider in that?
She's not a spider, but it's just funny.
Alright, then she closely examined the seals she had placed retroactively.
Now, I feel like... Are you sure? You are sure about this, right? Battler-san?
Is this okay, Battler-san?
Yeah, I can't.
Why does he look like he's in pain though? He's like, ugh! She got me!
I mean,
there were seals stabbed to the heart.
She kinda did get him though.
I know, that's why I don't like her.
After all, even if I'm sealed in here, there are ways of placing the letter.
But now Erica will probably enter the guest room. And then she will observe your corpse. What are you going to do? If the corpse is there, then there's no problem. The letter's prediction will be off, but it's not as though there's a penalty for that. But still, you intend to fight head on. Do you know what they could do? Why? Because we've had in previous ones before where there were like bodies found, but the face was always like disfigured, so you couldn't... You had to rely on other identifiers.
Yeah.
To see if it was like that. So couldn't Battler just use the same tactic on himself and then say it was somebody else in the room?
I suppose that would work pretty well for this one because Erica doesn't have the detective's authority. So she could, she's allowed to fall for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There are instances where, like, if the detective, I'm not 100%, but, like, I think if the detective witnesses it with their own eyes, then, like, it's pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly how that rule worked. There are times when a man is challenged head-on that he has to respond no matter who the opponent. I must not pull back here. I'll take that challenge. I can search for a way out all I want later. I managed to do that with Kinzo's study last time. Don't worry, I can do it. I can do it. Come on, Erica!
We have confirmed that the seals to the guest room are undamaged. Since the time Lady Erica confirmed Battler's presence, this closed room has been preserved.
Good. I'm breaking the seals. Rip, tear.
Erica destroyed the packing tape seal on the door in ecstasy. It looked as though the intellectual rapist had finally laid her true nature bare.
Okay. I'm opening it. Let's have a look at Battler-san's naked scenario.
Like a ruffian pushing down a frail girl, Erica mercilessly and greedily threw the door open. Then finally, the inside of Battler's guest room was observed by Erica. Battler had to show it. Was there a corpse or wasn't there?
What'll it be? Come on, Battler. Ah, here's my response.
It's so dramatic. I'm sorry, it's so dramatic.
That's how it's like, though. When you get called off your bluff, you're just like, I'm gonna ride this bluff to the end of the world.
I just can imagine, like, them talking to each other in, like, an anime setting. And you know how they have, like, in the fight scenes, all the, like, fast line animation
Yeah.
in the background? It just
Impact
sort
lines.
of seems like they're just like, whoa!
Well, that's
Some
how it
sort of
would be.
Dragon Ball Z thing. Is that how it is in the anime?
Nah, I think the anime... It didn't do that. It was, like, dramatic and everything, but I didn't use the lines, I don't think. That's
Okay.
your go.
Batley grabbed a black piece from the board and raised it high. Ah, that piece. Beato had no memories of the time she had been an expert at this game. And yet, for some reason, she realized that this was a move that could not be taken back. Once this piece was moved, they couldn't move it back. Oh.
Just like chess.
The guest room was covered by a silent darkness. It was pitch black and nothing could be seen. However, there was a light switch just off to the side of the entrance. If she flicked that, the room would be lit up and she would see whether or not there was a corpse on the bed. Shall I turn them on?
No. Wait a second, please. Battler-san, I have a proposal.
No, not the marriage proposal.
I do.
Don't listen, Battler. Don't listen to it.
Let's hear
Don't
it.
do it.
I think you already know, but this time around I'm not aiming to find the culprit and achieve a standard victory. My enemy is not the lowly culprit killing the pieces, but my opponent, you, yourself. I know. So, you're after a logic error. Heh. I'm seriously regretting it now. Even though you were just pretending to be miserable, I fell for it completely, and gave you a ridiculous ability.
That was your pride. It will cost you dearly.
Damn it.
So, what is your proposal? With a firm voice, Beato urged her to continue, until just a second ago she had remained behind Battler's back, a bit flustered. However, she was steady now. She saw that Battler had let his emotions take control of him, and had been lured into making a bad move.
Shut up, Natsuhi.
Lured, that's the one I'm looking for. Had been lured into a bad move, and realized that it was time for her to stay cool and support him. What does that have to do with Natsuki?
It just reminds me of like when Natsuki would stand up for Kraus and then he'd be like, hey, get out of here.
Erika's proposal couldn't be anything good. And on top of that, Erika was sly. She probably wouldn't make a proposal that would easily be rejected.
I will now turn on the light. The top of the bed will be lit up, and it will be decided whether or not Battler has disappeared as the letter predicted.
Oh
If
man,
he's still
I've got major
there-
lag.
Great. There's nothing strange at all. The letter's prediction would just be wrong. Of course, the argument would probably switch over to, then who put the letter there? But for the time being, the location of the fight would move outside this closed room.
And if he's missing? Beato already knew. She knew the move the Battler had made a second ago. Battler had already disappeared from this room. Therefore, they would need to prepare a disappearing trick other than he was actually alive and left through the door. The situation is simple. First, this room is a closed room. Also, Battler's life or death status hadn't been confirmed. In other words, him being alive wouldn't cause any problems. They had to make Erika think that Battler had vanished from this situation. he just had to escape from the room. Or if that wasn't possible, he just had to hide somewhere and wait for her to leave, making her think that he'd disappeared.
Inside this tiny room, I will now begin our endgame. The chase after the king. It should end in just a few moves. You'll be unable to construct the logic needed to let Battler escape from this room. And the tail will be destroyed. Game over.
Fighting to keep that from happening is our job. What is this proposal of yours?
An endgame fought over a logic error should be a bit more precise. Once again, we will fight with the red and blue truths, but we need a referee on the same level as the Game Master to observe and see that he doesn't create any logic errors with the red truth.
That seems reasonable.
There's nothing special about this. Back when the old you was the Game Master, you were under the observation of your guardian, Lady Lambda Delta. In that way, it was judged that all red truths were valid. So, you're telling us to show Lambda Delta our cards?
I've been watching since the beginning. It's okay, don't worry. I am impartial in my judgments. Can you say that in red? Yep. I swear that I am impartial in my judgments. I was plenty impartial in the last game, wasn't I?
I swear she sounds way different now.
What do you mean?
I think it suits her better, but I think it's different from what you were doing before.
I think she's the one who's changed the most. I think every time I do her, she has a new voice.
Yeah, she doesn't. I don't know. I can't really talk. Because listen to my burn voice. Especially for interesting judgments. Where she doesn't care which way it falls. Accept it, Battler. Erica is going to corner you. Understand?
Oh, the eyes!
She will duel with you and kill you in this room.
Oh, that scared me.
If you're a man, accept the duel. Sure, fine. I am a man, so we won't get anywhere if you suspect every single impossible murder I show of being a logic error. It's true that we need an observer to guarantee that this game is legitimate.
Then I'll come around to your side. Let me take a look at your hand. Lambda Delta understood what Battler had up his sleeve.
I'm just imagining he's got like a button, a lollipop, just some dust and stuff. It's just like, this is what I got.
And she saw that Erica's first move had indeed gone straight through his heart. Just as Erica had guessed, Battler was alive and had slipped out of the room after Erica had examined his corpse and placed the letter by the guest house and hid himself somewhere. When the packing tape seals had been retroactively placed on the guest room, he would have had to show that they'd been torn. However, if he had done that, it would be the same as admitting that he'd seen through and that he'd... However, if he had done that, it would be the same as admitting that he'd been seen through and that he'd lost. Unwilling to admit that, Battler had claimed that the seals had been maintained with false courage, and was now rushing to revise his logic. True, he could still escape for a few more moves. However, Erica was planning to corner and kill him there. Or here. Here, there, same thing. Sorry, I just need to adjust something on my end. Battler! You're fighting with some pretty incredible cards here.
Cards? Does this game of chess look like a card game to you?
To me, it looks as though you are all playing a game of poker. So by moving to this side and looking at the cards you hold, I understand everything.
You lagging?
That's an awful move. Yeah, I've got a little bit of lag. It's a complete waste, and Erica has already seen right through you.
What would you do?
I'm the referee. I can't give you advice. But let me tell you my impressions.
No, that's okay.
It's chilling. You're trying to use this useless move. This baseless bluff. Is Lambda Delta just telling everybody what he's doing?
Well, everyone knows what he's doing.
This baseless bluff to make Erica back down. She's not going to back down, that gal. After all, you're the one who should be throwing his chips in and folding now.
Thanks for the advice. Butler-san, I agree with her. Let's back down from the fight in this room. We don't have any winning cards.
Weren't you hoping to discard your cards and draw something more useful? I thought you were playing chess. In the world of chess, if you rely on luck, you die. By hoping to draw something useful, she meant relying on luck and betting that, even if he couldn't think of a trick now, he might think of a good plan for making a closed room trick later on. If you enter into the fight without any trick in mind, you get killed. Now was the time to back down. When Erica flipped the switch, he just had to be sleeping there on that bed. That's all he needs.
Lambda, I don't know what you're talking about, but you're chatting too much. A referee needs to be impartial.
True. Then good luck, Bella. I'm hoping for a precise chess-like battle. You aren't playing poker, are you?
Are you ready, Battler-san? Yeah, I am. Turn the lights on whenever you want. For the rest of the fight in this room, the progression of time will be stopped. This way, all the moves for both players will be made at the same time, and the first move made will be treated no differently than the last move. It might be hard to understand, but this rule exists for the purpose of maintaining logic, and to keep you protected as well. From here on out, you can use all the twisted logic you want to rebuild this trick in this room. In other words, it's possible that you might think of a good idea partway through the fight. Normally, it's unfair to revise your plot partway through. Did I miss something?
What?
Nope. In order for that to be acceptable, you need a world stopped in time, where everything happens at once, and where logic that you think of afterwards can counter your opponent's earlier moves.
Of course, Erica can take advantage of this role as well. If you revise your trick to be a new one, she can deal with that in a different way.
This is pretty complicated.
Can you hear that helicopter?
No, I can't, but I think the game knows when it's my turn to read, because that's when it stops, like, loading nicely. And then when you're doing it, it's like...
This is you. I skipped you.
This is pretty complicated. I'm pretty sure I said that.
Oh. It's simple.
Simple.
It's like a corrupt politician's war of twisted logic. You lie shamelessly, and then when evidence is shown revealing that lie, you retract those previous lies and shamelessly say that you just remembered it wrong.
I have Sprinkles sitting next to me.
Then change to a new lie that doesn't have any contradictions. The fight goes between a lie, then evidence exposing it, then another lie. Like a fight between two snakes spinning around trying to eat each other's tails. Good! Just think of it as a world in which you're allowed to use that twisted logic based off of your opponent's moves as often as you want. I used that myself when sealing this room, so I thought it was only fair to let you do the same.
You have no shame, do you?
Okay, then let's have both sides begin. Will Erica take the first move? Will she start by checking the bed? By checking to see what he's bet?
Yeah, let's start by checking to see if Battler's on the bed. Erica, begin. Leave it to me, my master. Light on. It's just a surprise party.
With a click, the sound of the light switch rang out, and the bulb turned on, lighting up the room. On Battler's bed was... That was so slow.
Delano, confirm it with the red.
Yes. Ushiromiya Battler.
No, it's my move. I'll say it. Ushiromiya Battler is not on the bed.
I can't even see anything. It's just a room with the beds.
I'm glad you didn't run away from the fight. I'm impressed. It's a high-stakes battle, so it'll cost you a lot if you're the one who loses. Are you prepared? No one would raise the stakes unless they felt confident in their advantage. Delano, keep a record.
As you wish. At Delano's nod, Cornelia, who was hanging back, started taking a record. She wrote down that Battler's corpse, which should have been on the bed, was not. And also that Battler hadn't backed down from his closed room game. As previously announced, Battler's first move is to have the corpse vanish. Now it's Erica's turn. Go ahead.
I present the possibility that Ushiromiya Battler is alive and hiding somewhere in this room. I proclaim this with the blue truth. Invalid. If you want to use the blue truth, give me a specific location. In the last game, Bayato did that in Kinzo's study, and Delano made Swiss cheese of her, right? Are you trying to take revenge for that? Before I start searching, I have one blue truth I can use without a search. There is a possibility of a hidden door X that is impossible to discover. He's hidden behind that, so it's impossible for me to find him. Nox is third. It is forbidden for hidden passages to exist. Isn't that right?
No hidden places that are impossible for Erica-san to find exist inside the guest room.
Nox is third. Valid.
Good. Then let's get started with the search.
Erica slowly began to walk around the room. Until the end game had started, Erica had been energetic, jumping about impatiently like a hungry dog. However, now that it had actually begun, this was a stifling battle of wits, where each breath made her tense. Even the quiet sound of the rain was distracting.
Now that I've searched the room, let's confirm its layout.
The guest room is divided into 2 rooms, the bedroom and the bathroom. Lady Erica has currently searched the entire bedroom section. There is only one exception.
I'll leave that one place be for the time being. So, were there any irregularities discovered in the bedroom?
There were none. Except for one location, there is no one to be seen in the bedroom.
What's this except for one location business? Say it without being annoying. There's a reason a face-down card remains face down. I'll turn it over if it's needed, so look forward to it. It's trap hole.
After thoroughly checking the bedroom, Erica headed for the bathroom door. Since he wasn't in the bedroom, it was natural to think that he was in the bathroom. And since the guest room was made up of 2 rooms, if Battler wasn't in the bathroom either, it would mean that he had managed to vanish from the closed room. Except for that single location that Erica had intentionally left unchecked.
I'm checking the bathroom.
Lady Erica, the sound of water can be heard from inside. Also, there is a faint heat.
Oh, don't tell me he's taking a shower. Is it locked or something? No, it isn't locked. Go ahead, open it. Then if you'll allow me. He's just naked.
Slowly, Erica put her hand on the doorknob of the bathroom door. She tried to push it open but felt a strange resistance. Of course, it wasn't the resistance of the lock. It felt as though it had an unnatural load on it. Out of the slightly open crack poured the hot air from the shower. However, it was unlocked, so there probably wasn't anyone taking a shower. After letting a dumbfounded expression rise to her face, Erica slammed into the door with her whole body, knocking it open.
Yeah. What?
That's a very cute Erica sound. As soon as she opened the door, a hot blast poured out on her. Erica froze, unable to understand what had happened. After falling backwards on her butt, she realized that boiling hot shower water was spewing out at her, and hard.
What is this? What a crazy prank.
Cursing, Erica wrapped the blanket from the bed around herself and tried to enter the bathroom once more. That is like some hydro-powered shower head pressure, if that's the case.
It's like Home Alone. Battler.
Yeah. This time she was able to figure out what was going on. It was quite an elaborate prank. A wire fixed the shower nozzle in place so that it pointed at the entrance. That's not a wire, that's like a whole situation going on. The pressure and heat were turned up to the max, so that anyone who went through the door would be met with a wave of hot water. The pressure was very strong, which probably accounted for the weight she had felt when trying to push the door open. She tried to make the nozzle point in another direction. But not only was it fixed in place by the wire, it was also fixed in a place high enough that Erica couldn't reach it with her height. That's just mean. It's like it was a prank made just for Erica. She tried to turn off the pressure, but that was also held in place by wires. She couldn't manage anything with her bare hands. She would have to get a tool that could cut the wires. However, when she looked into the bathtub, which was overflowing with very hot water, she saw a bundle of wires and some nippers that had been used to cut them lying at the bottom. If she used that, she could turn off the pressure.
Ah! Ow, 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 ow! Damn you!
The blanket she had used to protect herself from the shower was getting more and more drenched with boiling hot water. At this rate, she'd get burns even through the blanket. She needed to turn the water off quickly. Right next to the bathtub, she saw a hanging long-handled body brush. Perfect. Erica used that to skillfully scrape the nippers up off the bottom of the tub. Fortunately, it was a shallow Western-style bathtub. If it had been a deep Japanese one, it probably would have burned her badly. Making sure not to touch the hot metal part, she carefully took the nippers and cut the wires around the faucet. Take that and that. You can read it if you want.
Oh, that's so good.
She finally managed to turn the hot water faucet, and the heat from the hot water storm died down. For a while, Erica was forced to cool her almost burnt arms under the running water. She's so cranky. What a calamity!
Would you like a bath? I can wash your face with this brush.
I appreciate the sentiment, but no.
Oh, that's a shame. Oh, that's a shame.
Erica had finally regained enough of her composure to be abusive. She turned off the faucet completely, and silence returned to the bathroom. After that, all that remained was Erica's heavy breathing. She turned on the fan to get rid of the hot steam. She had to leave the bathroom until that... What? She had to leave the bathroom until that was finished. It was pleasant, like stepping into an air-conditioned room on a hot summer's day.
Now that was a ridiculous trap. However, that wasn't here at the time I examined Battler's corpse. Therefore, the appearance of this trap proves that Ushiromia Battler was alive. Well, I never thought he was dead anyway.
So he decided to openly show a card that had already been exposed.
Let's check the inside of the bathroom. Was Battler seen?
No, no one was seen in the bathroom.
Good. Now we've confirmed that, except for one location, Battler does not exist anywhere inside the guest room.
Give it that a rest. Just where is that one exception?
A coffin. Ushiromia Battler's coffin, that is.
Ashes to ashes, the dead to their coffins.
You plan to trap me in this room, right? Okay, let's have it.
Silence that was complete except for the rain was suddenly filled with the smell of gunpowder. Though it was extremely quiet, the room was filled with tension as though you'd be sliced in half if you relaxed for an instant. A cloud of gold butterflies gathered on the room's round table and turned it into the witch's chessboard. And finally, time for her attack.
Blue Truth, you did not vanish from this room. You just hid yourself to make it seem as though you disappeared from a closed room. The place you are hiding is the one exception that I haven't investigated yet.
As Erica lightly raised her right hand, a single gold butterfly appeared from the darkness behind her, flitted between the index finger and middle finger of Erica's raised hand, and became a white piece. Then she lifted it high into the air.
This is the one exception. The walk-in closet next to the entrance.
Bang! Like a falling white lightning bolt. The white piece hit the board, landing by a weak spot in Battler's formation. Yes, it is here. With a crash, the door of the closet, which was just off to the side of the guest's room's entrance, was impaled by a spear that represented the blue truth. Dilinor had spun around and thrown it. The door was completely pierced, and the spear stuck in so deeply that if a human had been hiding in it, it would have pierced their chest as well. Its still quivering handle was a testament to the force with which it had been thrown. There are no places in which to hide other than this. You are now hiding in here.
What do you say, Battler-san? Have you been struck through the chest for a literal smothered mate?
Battler-san, it's our move now.
Yeah, I thought it'd be like that, Erika. You intentionally left one spot open so you could stuff me into that coffin. It's the same move that trapped Kinzo in Natsuhi's room. I saw it coming. Oh, did you? Then let's see your response. But let me make a prediction. Let's hear it. I'll checkmate you in 2 moves from now. That's my prediction. Then I'll make the same prediction. I'll checkmate you in 2 moves.
Sounds interesting.
And these predictions contradict each other. Who will be the liar, I wonder?
The air burst and sparked. The silence would hurt one's skin. Then go. It is your turn.
It's useless. Your lowly coffin won't be able to trap Battler-san.
Here's my response.
Slowly, Battler moved his hand over the chessboard. A gold butterfly that had appeared from the darkness rested on Battler's finger and became a black piece. That black piece was the king, which represented Battler. Why are these pieces flying in the air? I don't understand. They should be on the board.
This is my response. To your battlers hiding in the closet. Take this. Ishiremiya Battler does not exist within the guest room. There are no exceptions, including the closet.
Like a black bolt of lightning this time, Battler slammed his piece down on the white piece of Erika's that had cut deep behind his lines, crushing hers. It scattered like a golden spray and melted beautifully into the darkness, as a faint cloud of gold sparks drifted about. I see. So he hid in the closet at first, and then slipped out of the room while Erika was occupied by the shower. It's the same technique he used to let Kinzo escape from the study in the last game. Distract the observation of the observer and disappear into the darkness. Was that Featherine's voice? I can't remember.
More or less. Good. Of course. Yes, of course. I'd already foreseen that move.
Now it was Erika's turn. A gold butterfly popped into existence in front of Erika. And she grabbed it right out of the air. She then lifted that hand into the air and raised the white piece high.
Let me announce a retroactive move. This occurs back in the very beginning, right after I broke the seals and entered this room. At that time, I immediately closed the door, reset the chain, and sealed this room.
Can she do that?
Objection! Goto severed the chain back when the crime was first discovered.
And
Since
does
the chain
Battler know you're not in a courtroom? What is this objection?
Goto severed the chain back when the crime was first discovered. Since the chain lock is not functioning, it is impossible to use it to create a seal. Objection overruled. Erika repaired the chain lock. See?
When did this turn into Phoenix Wright?
It's like, please look at Exhibit A. On the bed, what do you see?
Impossible! How could she have repaired a brass chain?
It was possible. Have you forgotten, Beato? The packing tape seals. Erica used that packing tape to join the two cut ends of the chain together, sealing them. In other words, the chain was repaired by the packing tape, and this room once again became a closed room locked from the inside.
Objection! Erica-san has already used up her packing tape seals, hasn't she? She shouldn't be able to use them anymore.
Objection overruled! The use of the packing tape wasn't limited by the number of strips, right? It was by the number of rooms. The only restriction was to limit it to only 3 rooms. Erica chose this guest room to be one of those rooms. So Erica has the right to seal as many places as many times as she wants within this room.
Gah!
That's right. I gave her permission to do that.
This is the cost of your pride. Sympathy is the evil liquor that the proud are most fond of.
So, with this retroactive move, I proclaim that the chain lock has been repaired by the packing tape seal and has regained its original functionality. And, thanks to that, I locked the room upon entering it and made this guest room a closed room from the inside once more.
The white piece Erica held aloft represented the seal caused by the chain lock. This move would draw out Battler's king and drag it to the guillotine.
Die, Battler.
The piece for the chain lock was slammed down right at Battler's king's throat.
Repeat it. The lock created by the chain is currently intact.
Battler's face contorted. Beato, who was watching from behind, grimaced even more. This move was very painful. If his logic had him hiding in the closet until Erica left, using the uproar on the bathroom to escape, then the chain lock must have been undone. In other words, he couldn't respond to her demand. If he didn't respond, Erica would use the blue truth in her next move. She would probably say, "You hid in the closet, then use the disturbance in the bathroom to escape. Since you then couldn't set the chain lock from the outside, you left it undone." And she would be right. This was checkmate. As Erica had predicted, she would strike the finishing blow on the second move. And on top of that, she would probably use the disappearing Battler to solve most of the crimes that were to follow. Losing the battle in this closed room would steal a major deciding piece from Battler. But what if he responded to her demand? What if he could say the lock created by the chain is still intact? That would be fatal to Erica. It had already been shown with the red truth that this guest room could only be made into a closed room from the inside. So this hopeless closed room would instead become Erica's coffin. With a riddle of that magnitude, Erica probably wouldn't solve the mystery of Battler's disappearance before the end. Each unsolved riddle gives an advantage to the witch side. Battler wanted to respond to this demand if at all possible. However, if he answered by saying that the chain was still set, he would have to abandon the logic saying that he had escaped when Erica was looking. Once he escaped, he wouldn't be able to set the chain lock again. It would make a riddle to corner Erica, but he wouldn't have to construct a different escape method. Even a move such as him leaving the closet during the scene in the bathroom and hiding in another place, say under the bed, wouldn't work because he had proclaimed that Battler does not exist within the guest room. If he could construct a logic that allowed him to escape from here while preserving the chain lock's position, then Erica would be the one facing the fatal blow. However, if he didn't have that logic, if he failed, it would be a big logic error. The worst and lowest forbidden move that would instantly end the game in his defeat. He would have no way to recover. For Battler, deciding how to respond to this demand was a very advanced and difficult decision. Either way, Erica would probably corner him.
In that case, my choice is obvious.
But Battler-san, this guest room has already been restricted in many ways by the Red Truth due to its closed room nature. How do you plan on escaping from this?
If only I could do something about the chain lock. If only.
If he could somehow get around the chain lock, he could force Erica to deal with a terrible closed room. It would probably end up as a finishing blow to her. But in order to do that, he would need to make a trick for escaping the closed room that existed before Erica came back, which was now the closed room sealed by the chain that Erica set right after entering the room. And on top of that, he had to make sure that the chain that could only be set from the inside remained in place. If he could do that, if he could find a way, then it would end here.
But I still can't think of that trick. Right now, Erica is demanding to know whether the chain lock is still set or not. I need to decide whether I'll take that challenge or back down, and I need to do it right now. If I can't find a certain win trick, then this is the end. But if I don't have that trick, I should just acknowledge that I slipped out of the closet, undid the chain, and escaped, backing out of the fight. If I say the chain was set without a trick up my sleeve, then it's impossible for me to escape. In other words, it's a logic error.
Even if we lose the fight in this room, there will still be chances left to us. We've still only started the second day, haven't we? We have plenty of time to reconstruct an impossible murder.
No, that's no good. If I acknowledge that I've escaped from this room now, it's the same as acknowledging that I'm the culprit. If I back down from the fight in this room, it's the same as accepting my defeat in this game.
Battler's point was a valid one, since all of the other humans were still locked in the guest house. Then if Battler alone was alive and free to move, Erica would probably base her explanation for all of the following impossible crimes on the blue truth that Battler was the perpetrator. If they wanted to forcefully turn that around, they would have to rewrite their tricks and logic so that someone other than Battler would be set up as the perpetrator. If they fixed up one flaw, it would give rise to new flaws, which might eventually pile up and kill Battler. Even running away would mean tightening the noose around his own throat. The first truth that Battler is the culprit has already been hit upon. And yet I have to struggle. Who is speaking right now?
Yeah, that's probably me. And yet, I have to struggle desperately to get out of this. I need to. I'm on the edge. I've definitely been
on the edge
so many
of
songs.
glory.
I knew it was coming. I've definitely been cornered in a dangerous spot. However, if I can just change my position, everything might turn around at once. If I can just make this chain my weapon, I can kill Erica.
Kill the Erica! Kill the witch! Wait, are you actually going to respond to her demand? Is there any way to escape without undoing the chain lock?
How?
There isn't. If you respond, you'll lose instantly from the logic error at the end. It's clear which choice we ought to make.
Yeah, it's clear. No matter what move we choose, it'll turn for the worst just as Erica wants. If it's horrible either way, I'd like to choose the move that has the biggest reward if we win.
You're going to call even though you have no logic for escaping and no trump cards? You think you can accept her demand and win?
My cards might be useless. My grandpa's cards have... No, I said it wrong. My grandpa's deck has no useless cards, Kaiba. However, with just one more card, they might become a straight flush, or a straight or a flush.
You're
Or
supposed
even
to
a
be
royal
playing
flush.
chess!
They're playing like 8 different games at
Oh
once.
my goodness.
If hell waits for me after both options, I'll take the one that'll finish her off if I win.
That's an insane move. Sometimes madmen leap into the path of death. And so miracles occur. It's impossible. How could you escape this closed room without removing the chain? There's only one difference between heroes and madmen. It's whether they win or lose. I'll be looking forward to your big victory.
If I can finish things with this move, then as I predicted, I can kill Erika on my second move. I still can't think of a trick for escaping this closed room. However, there has to be something. There has to. Once I think of that, I can make a magic illusion of me changing into a butterfly and slipping out of the crack in the door like smoke. If I have even a drop of that magician's blood in my veins, please let that honor. Give me just a fragment of a miracle right now. So, Battler-san, let's have that second move that you predicted you'd checkmate me on.
Please give an answer to Lady Erica's demand. Will you respond or will you refuse?
How do you think you can get out of it? If you can.
I have no idea.
Just, if you were in the situation, do you think you have any cards you can play?
See, I would be really stuck because I would probably do something like hide under the bed, hide in the curtains, try escape out the window. But he's said
You can't do
that
any of
Battler's
those.
not in the room. So all of those
Yeah.
options that I probably would have done have been taken away from me by Battler.
And the room is still sealed with the... Like, that'll include the windows and stuff.
Yeah, like the only... I don't know, because what's stopping Battler from getting the seals and then re-putting them on? It's just... I don't know.
They can't. I'm just imagining, like, Battler, like, tearing them and then putting his own, like, Battler signature on top of it. Because he can't replicate her unique signature and the way she tears the paper and everything.
The only way that would work, and I don't think it would because technically it's just Erica in the room, right? In real life?
Go on, when...
Whatever. Like, the only other way I can think of him being able to get out is with help from somebody else. And he leaves, and then they, like, put the chain lock back on because the seals are already broken. She broke the seals to get into the room.
She broke the seals to get in, and then she
used the seals to
used the
fix the
seals
chain.
to fix this chain, yeah.
But she didn't seal the room.
Did she or
with
did she
the
not?
seals. No, I don't think she sealed the room. I think she just used them to seal the chains that were broken together.
Okay.
I
Well,
don't even know why it's important that the chains were broken in the first place.
Well-
you just have it unlocked.
because she's using that as, like, a seal, essentially. So, like, if Battler was there, and
But
then...
did she have to break it in order to get into the room?
No,
The room
Goda
was locked.
broke it earlier to get into the crime scene where Battler was discovered.
Yeah.
Because the chain was set, and they couldn't get in. Because, like, they had the key, but they couldn't get past the chain, so they had to break it.
Yeah.
So they broke the chain, she comes in, closes the door, fixes it, and locks it. Which would make sense. You're in a murder scenario, you want to lock yourself in, be safer.
Yeah.
But now it's like, if he was still in that room while she was doing the shower thing, like, yeah, he's kind of screwed if she
Yeah.
finds out that he got out.
I don't know. I don't know.
Your move.
Oh my goodness.
Slowly, Butler's hand stretched out to his king piece on the board. He lifted it up and slowly held it aloft, tracing a large circle in the sky. Would Battler respond, or wouldn't he? Would the lock caused by the chain be preserved, or wouldn't it? Would Battler's king crush the piece of the chain lock that stood right in front of it?
He's using his king so much. Give me anxiety.
Oh. Or would it slip away like a ghost and escape?
Just see him being like, ah!
This is my response. As predicted, on this second turn of mine, I'll definitely, you're through. Here it comes. Furudo. Erika. Ah! He's gone mad.
I wanted to hear the screams! Give me the screams!
Ah!
Battler's
That
king
ain't a
had
wolf.
Battler's king had become a black lightning bolt that crashed down onto the board. Where had it gone? On top of the piece of the chain lock? Or past that piece?
It's just off the board. I will repeat it. The lock caused by the chain is intact.
Battler's king had left the chain lock piece in its place and had slipped past it.
How? It's only one move that you can do. Like, if something's going to kill you and you just move next to it, you have to, ah!
Yeah, it sure would be cool if you could just say that the chain lock was still set, wouldn't it? Don't you think that'd be cool? But do you know what they call a fool? Who's full of himself and jumps into the path of death just because it's cool? No clue. Ushiremya, Battler. That's what we speed it up! Call them. I file a motion for a logic error. That red truth of yours just now has cut off your own logic. Please have the impartial referee make her judgment immediately. Great Lady Lambda Delta! Motion received. Lambda Delta. Does this make logical sense? Your inspection, please.
Motion received. Battler, show me. Let me see your cards.
Battler, son.
It is a royal flush, right? If you've got nothing, you won't get out of this with just a sorry, okay?
Yeah. I have no intention of apologizing.
If it's a logic error, the game board would be blown away. You inherited this game board from Beato. It's the only thing you have left of that precious Beato. So you must not allow for a logic error.
Do you want me to narrate?
Oh!
A logic error only becomes established when the witch admits to it. As long as they can keep thinking of new logic to escape with, they will not die, cannot die. However, that would be like living in an endless living hell of the mind.
Even if you manage to crawl around forever after falling onto the darkness of thought, you'll just be eternally trapped in hell where you constantly think of ways to escape that room, while refusing to accept your logic error. got it? It's like the difference between falling from the roof of a 10-story building and falling from the roof of a 100-story building.
Lambda, Battler has already finished making his move. Players can't take back a move once it's made. Act as an impartial judge, carry out your motion, and see whether or not Battler's escape from the closed room is logical, and whether there's been a logic error or not. Be slow, accurate, and meticulous like an archaeologist, and be as fast as a guy at an ice cream shop when he forcefully and skillfully scoops out that sweet, fragrant vanilla soy sauce ice cream. I was like, oh, vanilla soy. Oh, soy sauce.
Yes, I know that. Battler, let me see it.
Battler-san.
Beato, do you think I'll lose?
I don't want to think that. After fighting with the old me many times, you finally reached the miracle that I so wanted you to find. So I'd like to believe that you'll win through a miracle once again.
This woman called Beatrice, the whole time. She fought on this same border between reason and madness. She fought with a mixture of sadness, anger, and several other emotions for me that can't be described with words. And in the very last game, at the very last moment, she managed to seize victory. That might have been the purpose of the card Beato had been gripping as she fell. Beato passed away without realizing that she had won. In the final game, the true victor was Beato. That Beato entrusted me with this game board, so I'll win. So I need at least you to believe in me. Beatrice!
If I believe and a miracle occurs,
Please.
I do believe in you.
I do believe in fairies. I do.
This is
I
essentially
do
what this
believe
story
you.
is.
I do believe in you, Battler-san.
Ah! This is pissing me off. Please just check it already, Lady Lambda Delta. There's no valid logic. There doesn't exist any way to get out of this closed room. You were overeager, Battler-san. If you could win with this, that'd be cool. If you just vanished even though the chain is still set, that'd make you so awesome, so cool, so mysterious. Hold me.
What?
Like hell you can. Like hell you can do it. If you could do that, you really would be a witch. If you could vanish your way out of this closed room like a puff of smoke, I'd have to acknowledge it. It'd be the work of a witch. She's gone mad.
Quiet, Lady Erica. Lady Lambda Delta is conducting her inspection. Pass through. One move. Go back and corner.
She's like, I want to see your cards, and now she's talking about like chess.
With sweat gathering on her forehead, Lambda Delta inspected the movements of the pieces from Battler's side. She was as accurate and meticulous as an archaeologist, just as Berncastle had told her to be. After gulping stiffly, Lambda Delta looked several times between the formation of the pieces on the board, and Battler's face, which remained tense but steady.
Lambda?
I have finished my inspection.
There's no way the logic works.
Please, God.
Erica. What? I'm so sorry. Which way am I supposed to take that? It was fun. Now this is the end. I told you, which way am I supposed to take that?
Silence! In my courtroom! I have finished inspecting Battler's move. My decision is that...
Find out next episode.
Oh my goodness. It's valid.
Valid? You're lying.
I judge it to be valid. He's presented logic that doesn't violate any of the red truths, and I finished checking it. The move by the player on the witch side, along with that final red truth he repeated, are valid. Battler, for the first time, I've got to say, I think you're incredible.
See? In your game, a miracle will always occur if you believe.
Battler's son, I'm sorry. Don't say you didn't believe him now. If only I had believed more strongly, you wouldn't have been cornered like this. Beato flew onto Battler's chest, sobbing. What is going on right now? Erica staggered backwards, shaking her head back and forth dizzily. And Berncastle, her face was like an expressionless mask. Then, slowly, oh no, it became a smile. Why do I feel scared? And for some reason, it seemed the sign of some horrible emotion. Well done. To think that you escaped the room without removing the chain. Simply splendid. With her small hands, Delanor slowly started to applaud quietly. She was followed by Gertrude and then Cornelia. And then by Beato and Lambda Delta too. Applause filled the room. Is Battler just like having a dream? Is that what they're going to do?
It's just like that meme with the old men slow clapping.
Oni-chan, how did you... I see, yes. A move that cannot be seen by one whose thoughts are trapped within the closed room.
Impossible. Impossible. Eek.
As Lambda Delta watched Erica, who was breathing hard, shocked and dizzy with a despair she couldn't accept, she had to take her hat off to the swiftness of Battler's heart and intellect, and to the power of this miracle.
Incredible, Ushirimiya Battler. It's my complete loss for thinking that your power and Beato's would cancel each other out and bring an eternal draw. And Bern, who thought everything would move according to her plan, even though she already knew your true strength, has also suffered a complete loss. Bern is the witch who made some miracles. You are the witch who summons miracles. You are not Bern's piece. Just now, without a doubt, you have surpassed Bern. You really did in this one moment. Think up a trick by which to escape from this closed room.
Is this the narrator now?
Yeah.
As Erica had predicted, Battler had been hiding in the closet. Then, during the disturbance of the bathroom, he snuck out of the door. Erica had guessed this much. That's why they retroactively set the chain lock and sealed it to prevent Battler from doing this very thing. The chain lock cannot be reset from the outside, so it should have been impossible to escape from the closed room. However, Battler didn't let his thinking get trapped inside this closed room. And so he broke through. It doesn't matter who, but let's explain it with his mother Kiryu's piece. Just like Battler, the life or death status of the rest of the first Twilight, victims had not been specified by the truth. I've got to turn the volume down, hang on. There we go. In other words, just like Battler, the others and Kiryu specifically can still move. And their closed rooms were not sealed so they can go out as they please. Kiryu had come to save him. Hey, I was kind of right!
Who did you think was going to save him?
What?
Who did you think
No,
was going to save him?
I said he wouldn't be able to get out without someone else's help.
Yeah.
Yes, I did say that. Finally get something after, how many episodes?
Yeah, I'm annoyed you guessed it too.
Did you know when I said it, were you like, oh, she guessed it? Or did they?
Story's over.
Kiryu followed behind Erika and waited in the hallway while the latter entered the guest room and sealed the door from the inside. Then, after Battler undid the chain lock and escaped. Wait, can we go back? Kiryu followed behind Erika and waited in the hallway while the latter entered the guest room and sealed the door from the... Wait. And sealed the door from the inside? So Kiryu is in the room?
No, Erika, she's outside. Erika sealed it.
Yeah.
She's waiting for Battler to leave, and then she's going to replace him.
Okay. Then, after Battler undid the chain lock and escaped, she entered the room in his place. Then Kiryu reset the chain lock from the inside and hid in the closet, just like Battler had done.
Well done.
Yes, Battler truly isn't inside the guest room right now. However, that doesn't mean that no one else is hiding inside it. Kiryu took Battler's place in the closet. The one exception that Eric had left, and is there still. Kiryu saved Battler. Did she get killed by the blue truth?
It's Delano.
Ushiro mi a Kiryu cannot save Battler.
Just
No!
gonna get rolled and smoked.
No!
Go on.
I need a moment. Ah! What do you mean? Delano, you betrayer! Why are you doing this? Why? She's supposed to be on our side.
She's on the side of justice.
To me, she looks evil right now. Ushiro miya Kiryu. Oh my goodness, I can't even do my voice. Ushiro miya Kiryu cannot save Battler. But why not? There's no red saying that Kiryu can't save Battler. Wait a second, how are you using the red truth?
Valid. Delano's red truth is valid.
This is cheating! Requesting permission to unsheath red key.
Permission granted. Please do it, Delano.
How? How can you give that permission?
It's valid, as the result of an impartial judgment. I guarantee this red truth.
Without telling us your reason?
We'll tell you that soon. Very soon.
hasn't even proclaimed Kirie dead with the red truth yet. It is allowed for Kirie to be playing dead. And the packing tape has already been used on 3 rooms, making it impossible for you to steal Kirie's room. So how can you use the red truth to say that Kirie can't save Butler? That red truth has no basis.
We'll tell you its basis soon, but more importantly, Lambda, the logic with Kirie has ceased to function. You should probably find another piece to switch places with Battler, don't you think?
Yes. There are still pieces that can replace Battler.
Reconstruct the logic. All we need is... it's probably Lambda, but I'll keep going. All we need is someone who can switch places with the Battler. It doesn't have to be Kirie.
Then let's switch it to Natsuki. Ushiromi and Natsuki switch places with Butler.
Dunno. Do it.
As you wish. Is it because they're all like in one room? And
No,
been
they're
sealed
all
up?
in separate rooms.
Wasn't there a group who was all in one room?
The groups that weren't caught up in any of the crimes, they're both in 2 different rooms, split up.
Okay. Dylan's red longsword smashed Natsuki's pieces into little bits. How can Erica deny this logic? Without the detective's authority. Ushiromi and Natsuki cannot save Butler. Then Ava! Ushiromi and Ava! Ushiromi and
That's still on all.
Ushiromi and Ava cannot save Butler. Then Rosa! Maria! Useless. Rosa and Maria cannot save him either. Death, 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 dying, death, sentenced to death. The great equalizer is death.
How the...
I have no idea.
Because the only rooms that are sealed is this one and the 2 groups that are alive.
Objection. Erica-san doesn't have the detective's authority. How can she use any red except for the packing tape seals?
Objection overruled. Not having the detective's authority does not imply that one cannot use any red at all. There's something she can use, right? Yes, there is. There are several exceptions that even humans without the detective's authority can use. Insane. There's no way.
Yes, there is none. However, there is a certain action permissible only to humans without the detective's authority, and it can become a truth of such overwhelming credibility that witches can easily raise it to the level of red truth. A certain action permissible only to humans who aren't the detective.
You don't mean... Erica, you...
I've got it. Yes, if I'm right, this red truth is valid. I don't understand. Was there some power that could only be used without the detective's authority?
There is just one. So you finally noticed. That's right. That's the only reason I abandoned the detective's authority this time around. You told me I could make the detective proclamation whenever I wanted, right? Well, unfortunately, I am no longer capable of making that proclamation. Which Nox rule was it? For some reason.
I'm like, what? Nox is 7th. It is forbidden for the detective to be the culprit. You mean... what?
Finally, Beato realized everything. Yes, the detective's authority bestows several powers that are useful for reasoning, but it eliminates one single privilege. That is Nox's 7th. It is forbidden for the detective to be the culprit.
In this game, it is impossible for humans without the detective's authority to examine corpses perfectly. So, there have been several tricks where the dead have all been faking and walking around where they please. You probably thought you could use that logic to create several impossible crimes after this. When I said that I couldn't make the detective proclamation, somewhere on the inside you must have said, I've won. You're pretty sly yourself. You gave me the packing tape seals seemingly out of mercy. But that was because you planned to have all of the first Twilight victims survive, band together, and carry out the crimes. So you gave me only 3 rooms worth, which wouldn't cover all 6 people. No matter which rooms I sealed, at least one of your underlings could move freely. You must have been plotting to use that to corner me. But too bad. Your naivety really pisses me off. Stupid man. I admit that I fell for your monkey show. And that, in my pride, I tried to show you some mercy. That's right. Even without the detective's authority, there is a way for humans to do it. A way to make sure that a corpse examination cannot fail.
What, they cremated him?
Is the human lying in front of you alive or dead? You can answer that question by examining the corpse. With just a quick glance, your chances of being right are 50-50 either way. Various bits of knowledge and experience can be used to obtain a more precise result. However, no matter how much you do that, while you can reach up to 99%, you can never reach 100% accuracy. That's what most people would think. However, there is one way. One way that's actually going off the screen. One way to conduct a perfect examination.
What is going on there?
And that is... to kill them. Erica. Without the detective's authority, I can't tell whether the victims are dead or faking. So I needed a way to be sure.
Oh my, that's...
And if possible, it would be preferable if they were removed from the game board, so that they couldn't make a mess of things later on. So, I dashed through the chaos-filled mansion, visited all the crime scenes, and I re-killed all of them.
She's literally a little gremlin and just went on a killing spree.
You brought this up before we started recording. I was also annoyed at that. You're like, oh, technically, Eric could be the culprit too. And I was like, game's over.
You're like, I don't want to do this recording anymore. What on earth?
Of course, she couldn't just kill them however she liked. It had to be a perfect way of killing, good enough that their deaths could be determined with the red truth. Erica made sure of that.
Oh my goodness, she's crazy.
The manner in which they were killed differed, but afterwards she completely severed the heads of all those she killed.
Oh my god!
That method of killing is solid enough to be called a red truth, right, Lambda?
She's psycho! Absolutely psycho! Oh my goodness. Valid. No human can survive after having their head sliced off. Could you have severed all of those heads without getting any blood on you?
For example, you could take a large trash bag from the kitchen and grab the knife through it. Then, if you covered the entire corpse with the trash bag as you did your work, you'd block nearly all of the blood splatter.
You'd still get blood on you.
I used enough knives and bags for several people, then left them there at the crime scene. Of course, I didn't humiliate myself by walking around with them, leaving blood in the hallways and dirtying my clothes. There will probably be trash bags left at the crime scenes with my fingerprints on them, but since this game ends before the police come, that can't be used as evidence, so there's no problem with leaving them there. Are you insane? What kind of mystery would ever allow something like that? I can't believe I'm hearing this from a witch on the fantasy side. Oh, and don't worry, I didn't kill you. I didn't have time to sever the head of the last one found, so I just sealed your whole room with the packing tape you gave me. Then again, that might have been because I knew that this would happen and wanted to watch you struggle. Oh, that's right. Just as I can say that I killed them in red, I can say one more thing.
At that point, Erica stopped for a second. And... could she really be wearing an even uglier expression than everything before now? With that highest quality face, she spoke.
Look at that PNG.
Pansy?
PNG. All 5 people I killed were very much alive until the moment I killed them.
Oh my goodness!
Everyone faithfully played dead as best they could until the moment just before I killed them, okay? Maria-san was quite the little trooper. After all, even though her mother had already been killed in the same room, she kept on playing dead without even noticing. No. No. Stop laughing, please. They're demons. Up until now. Many witches and demons have appeared in this tale. But for the first time, here are true demons. You bastards! You bastards! Ah!
This time, Beato understood the entire plot of this tale. This tale was just the story of a prank. Surely someone had thought of playing a slightly harsh trick on this inconsiderate guest, who loved to show off her intelligence and act the part of a great detective. And several people had agreed to go along with it. Then, the ones who would play the victims would go into their assigned rooms, set the chain and the lock from the inside, and play dead to create a fake close-roomed murder. If you think about it that way, the rooms chosen for the corpses seem to make more sense. It was only natural for Natsuhi to die in her own room. If you're going to play dead, it's only natural that you want to lie down on your own bed. Ava's vanity is strong, so she must have asked to die in the VIP room. Kyrie was in Krause's study. That was probably well air-conditioned and comfortable. Rosa and Maria were in the parlour. A soft sofa should have been a great place to play dead. Maria had done her best and had impressively acted the part of lying dead alongside the wall. Bartlett was in the guest room. The temperature here was also nice. The bed must have also been fairly pleasant. Yes, the victims for the first twilight had all died in comfortable rooms. In the past games, the corpses had often been found exposed in the courtyard or under the rose garden arbour, in the cold gardening shed or in the boiler room. This time, there were no victims in any such inhospitable environments. This is probably the truth. This is the story of a prank with no one dead from the beginning.
It's just a prank, bro.
And then this demon turned it into a real murder case. You do not have the right to speak ill of Lady Erica.
She says you do.
However, right now, you also have the obligation of showing a new logic that doesn't lead to any contradictions.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. corpses to corpses. Hey, Battler-san, let's continue the game. Please present a different human to switch places with you. If you don't, your trick will become a logic error.
There's now no one who can come to the rescue. Eric has killed all of them.
Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it!
Battler-san, please calm yourself. Now's the time to hold back your tears and fight. Even if you've lost 5 pieces who can save you, there's still the 11 people in the guest house.
You're right. Kraus, Hideyoshi-san, Rudolph, George, Jessica, Shannon, Cannon, Genji, Goda, Kumasawa, Nanjo. It doesn't matter who, as long as someone comes here. Somebody. Help! Okay, there's a bit where I want to hear a voice.
Okay.
Can you hear it?
Can you do it again? I had to turn my volume up because I turned it down.
Oh, I don't think I can.
You gonna get back?
I don't think I can.
Oh no.
But it keeps going. You ready?
Yeah.
You can read that.
You don't want to like play it out and then go back and read it in English?
Nah. This is just...
Okay, fine. Erica, who was now so excited that her pronunciation was tumbling all over the place, pointed at 2 doors. It was the hallway on the 2nd floor of the guest house. They were in front of the cousin room and the next room over.
Okay. That's enough.
Good. Battler, it is as you see. There no longer exists anyone who can save you. The victims of the first twilight have all been killed, and the guest house is still sealed. No one can come to the rescue. Erica had guessed that this moment might come so long ago, and that was why she had made the strategic move of suddenly sealing those 2 rooms. This answered the doubts Cornelia had felt at the time, wondering why the human side player wouldn't want as many free humans as possible was a natural, simple reaction to that move. However, if you sealed up all humans, there would be no room for magic to intervene. Why is magic magic? Because the people who see it say that it's magic. Then, is it possible for magic to exist in a place with no people? Does the lack of anti-magic toxin mean that there's no problem? Wrong. Magic in a place that isn't being witnessed is no different from a delusion, a daydream. Magic that matches a result must be carried out by human hands. If all humans are sealed off, then magic cannot be created. This was Erika's strategy for this game, and her beautiful checkmate.
Well now, who's going to come save you? Please tell me the identity of the real person who switched places with you, remained in the guest room in your place, and set the chain lock from the inside. If they even exist.
Okay, Battler, your logic has been interrupted. Who could have come to save you? You are now in the middle of a logic error.
What? Wait, I'm still thinking.
Baba, you have 2 options and 1 duty. The first option is to build a new thread of logic to reconstruct your closed room trick. The second is to come clean and admit to your logic error. And you're obligated to choose one of these options.
It is merciful. There's no restriction on the amount of time you have to make that choice. That's right. Your time is endless, eternal.
I'm sure there's still some way. Some twisted logic that could get you out of this. Anyway, I'm sure there's still some way.
I'm thinking about it. What about you, Beato? Let me know if you find anything. I'm sure the old Beato could have managed something. She built up several closed rooms like this.
Beato felt awful. Why was she Beato and yet not? Surely the old her would have thought up a trick under these restrictions. If only she could do that, she could guide Battler to victory. But she couldn't do it as her current self.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll think of a good trick. Eventually, surely. Probably. Maybe. Pretty sure it's impossible, though.
So then, Battler, let's go back to the guest room. From now on, that will be your word.
Once again, they returned to the slightly chilly guest room. It was the same room as before, of course. But it felt as though an unsettling darkness had crept in.
Here's the room you'll spend your days in from now on. You just need to escape from this room by any means you want.
However, there are conditions. As I believe you know, these were all the things you forced on yourself. First, this room is a closed room created from the inside. The seals and the windows are intact, so there can be no escape through there. Of course, there is no way to escape by leaving through the bathroom. I'll make it simple. There is no exit to escape from except for this door. However, the chain lock on this door is set. You can unset and reset it all you want, but you can only do so from the inside. Furthermore, you are free to go out through the door, but you cannot leave or escape while the chain lock is unset. You have to show that you can escape from this room with the chain lock still connected.
But he couldn't possibly. He couldn't possibly do it. He made this closed room himself.
We have arranged for just one exit other than the door. Other than the door? My goodness. That one's in the bathroom.
My merciful master has given you a last way out if you fail to think of any trick to escape. Please listen up.
Berncastle guided Battler to the bathroom. It was just a normal bathroom. The setup that had surprised Erica to buy time was no longer working. However, the bundle of wire and nippers that had been used to prepare that trap still lay in the empty bathtub.
Are you saying that I can use these to escape?
Yes, please feel free. It's a present. However, no matter what you use, you can't lock the room from the outside. And you can't fool the seals either, okay? These tools aren't here to help you pull some trick with the chain lock. They're here to let you escape from this room in a more direct way.
All I'm thinking of being like blended up like a human smoothie and then poured down
Well,
the
they
drain.
went through that at the start of the episode,
Yeah.
you remember?
How am I supposed to use these?
Not bad, Ben. I see that your mind's as grotesque as ever.
There is an exit that leads directly outside from this bathroom. Can you find it?
You don't mean...
Did you figure it out, Beato? Please, tell me.
That's... impossible.
Please, where is it? Tell me! We can't let the game end like this.
There.
Huh? Where? Under the bathtub? Can't you see it? There's a round hole that leads straight out of this room.
It's a bit small though.
You people. You people. Ah. Ah. It's the drain right there at the bottom of the bathtub. You can get out through there without touching the chain lock. But your body is a bit too big to get through this exit. That's why I decided to lend you those tools there.
You can escape through the drain? Oh, that's you.
How? She couldn't mean using those nippers for 100 years to widen that hole, right?
Battler and Beato had already realized. They had figured out this demonic way out that the demons were proposing.
Just use those nippers and cut your body down to a size that can fit. Crunch, crunch. Might as well sit back in the tub under a hot shower as you start from your feet going up. Chip then wash, chip then wash. And just keep doing that and, oh, what do you know? You've suddenly managed to escape from the closed room. Oh, what do you know? Is right, my master. Looks like both siblings are going to end up the same way.
Siblings?
Argy Burger.
What? Oh, no, that's a low blow. But Burn! At that rate, just the hand holding the nippers will be left.
And that's why we have the wire. Beforehand, Battler will have to wrap the wire around his wrist, then stretch the other end out into the corridor through the crack in the door. You should be able to fit just a wrist through that crack left by a chain lock. If you're willing to do that, I'd be happy to pull that wire from the hallway and save you. My master, if you do that, I want it. Battler's wrist. And what would you use that for? But no, I've already decided to use it as a back scratcher. When the time comes, I'll scratch your back with it. What do you say? Yes, my master. Master's going to scratch my back with Battler's hand.
Finding them annoying? Irritating? Obnoxious? Don't worry, it'll get quiet really soon. All noise to disturb your thoughts will now disappear for all eternity until you can escape from this room.
That's a relief. I'll be glad of the quiet.
Here's some advice from a survivor of hell.
Enjoy this noise while you can. Even the annoying insults you hear now will bring you fun memories to preserve your sanity amidst the eternal silence. Do you hate Bern and Erica? Then that's their parting gift to you. As long as you have hatred, you'll be able to avoid giving up. Giving up has a completely different meaning here, okay? Prepare yourself while you can for the eternity of the hell you'll be in when you've given up but still cannot escape.
Did you just call yourself a survivor? Then you also...
Every once in a while, that terror comes back to me. I wonder whether I really have escaped from that hell. What if I actually lost my mind a long time ago, and I'm still in there, just seeing a delusion of us all chatting happily like this? That nightmare still terrifies me, and so I need to constantly truly feel that this isn't a dream. Hey, are you guys really real? You aren't just an insane delusion I'm having inside that hell, right? Right?
There was something in Lambda Delta's pleading expression that sent shivers down the spine. It was probably more terrifying than any threatening words she could have used with even the most vile expression on her face. It's time for Battler to realize a logic error isn't so sympathetic that you can just stick out your tongue, ask for forgiveness, and say that you'll be more careful next time. It is never worth risking one by leaving things up to chance, even if you feel that you can't back down at this point in the fight. It's time for him to face reality and learn the true risks and terrors implied by the words, betting one's life on a fight, which must sound so exciting for a man.
Battler-san, get a hold of yourself. I'll think deeply upon it as well. I'll think of a trick to escape this room with all I've got. I will come to save you.
Beata. I'll definitely think of something. Just watch. Well, regretfully, it's time for us to leave. We mustn't get in the way of his job any longer.
See you later, Battler-san. Or, like you'd say it, see you again, right? Have a nice day.
There's Anji.
Later. Battler, good luck.
Battler-san, don't give up. You'll certainly think of a trick. I'll think as well, and I'll come save you.
Beata?
Before he could finish saying Beato's name, they had all disappeared. The butterfly, they hadn't disappeared in a golden spray, or turned into butterflies and flown away. Just as though there had never been anyone in this room since the beginning, everyone but him had vanished in an instant. Nothing remained. Not their voices, their presence, their warmth, not even the faint perfume Beato had worn. The frigid air of the room was...
She won it and then she wore it, okay.
The frigid air of the room was wrapped only in the lonely sound of the wind and rain. With that overpowering feeling of isolation.
I finally began to realize how horrible a punishment this would be. Damn those bastards. It can't be that hard to get out of a room like this. I mean, rooms are made so that people can go in and out of them, right? If they can't do that, you wouldn't call it a room. How pointless. It's easy to undo the lock and chain from the inside. Damn it.
For some reason, I've always been clumsy, and undoing chain locks always gives me trouble. Oh, it's off. Heh. How pointless. Look, I can already open the door whenever I want. Hey, what's this cold feeling on my neck?
I think your mic's cutting out every now and again.
No, I think yours is too. I think it's just because it's been a long call.
Okay.
What the hell is this? Why is there suddenly this iron collar around my neck that's attached to a chain? Damn it, who would do something like that? When I reset the chain lock, it disappears, and when I take it off, it appears. The chain's pretty long, so I can make it pretty far out into the hallway, but it won't let go of the door. Then, if I close the door, stand on the outside and stick my hand through the crack, maybe I can figure out how to set the chain. Gah. Why have I always been so clumsy? I'm not really clumsy, it's just that me and chain locks don't go well together. Damn it. I hate chain locks. I hate chains. Why won't it work? Why can't I set the chain lock from the outside? Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Gah. Gah.
Battler-san. Battler-san. Hang in there. Hang in there.
Can't get out.
Byaru called out to Battler repeatedly, shaking his shoulders hard, but by now Battler's eyes were blank. The words didn't reach him. Burncastle and Erica had already left. The game was officially suspended until Battler could think of a new trick. But it was doubtful that it would be resumed even after 1,000 years or more. Okay, I'm heading off too. So long, you two.
There's no need to say so long. We'll think of a trick right away, and the game will resume. We won't take up your time. So stay here a little longer, please.
We've had those same words from many witches in the past, and I've heard of hardly any who've actually managed to resume their games. As far as I know, the only two are me and Burn.
Why would a person who knows about that hell throw another person into it? Just because you're bored? Is that all?
Yeah, that's all. It's to escape from boredom, because when we get bored, we remember. We remember that hell. And, you know, by throwing someone else down into that hell, we realize that, oh, we're the ones on the throwing side. And that means we aren't in that hell ourselves. If we don't keep doing that. Then the fear of that hell will overwhelm us.
If you two manage to get out of it, then he certainly will. I will save him. I can say it with certainty.
With certainty? You swear with certainty before me. Lambda Delta, the Witch of Certainty?
Yes, with certainty.
Very well. I was the guardian for the former you anyway. Though the current you is different, I'll take care of you one last time. I'll give you a parting gift.
And what is that?
Hope. As long as you hold on to your certainty, your wishes will definitely come true. Are you listening? The old you was the endless witch Beatrice. You used to love detective novels that depicted impossible crimes. And you used those to make the claim that a witch existed to make many people believe in magic. As one stage on your path to becoming a witch.
Detective novels.
That's right. The old you was an avid reader. You loved detective novels, loved closed room murders, and were a super expert on impossible crimes. You searched for and found several closed room tricks, found the single most basic element to all of them, and used that to form the core of your magical compendium. Didn't Butler tell you? He said that the old you would definitely have thought of a way out of this predicament. I agree with that. I guarantee it by the name of the Witch of Certainty, Lambda Delta. The old you would definitely have resolved this closed room trick. That's my parting gift to you. Goodbye. You've sworn to the Witch of Certainty that you'll act with certainty, so I won't say farewell. I'll see you again soon.
Yes. We'll see you again soon.
Lambda Delta vanished into thin air. Then, in the smoking room of the witch, the two who held the title of Endless Witch were left behind. One had empty eyes. The other supported the first by his side. Ironically, it was the exact opposite of how their relationship had been in the previous game.
Nice timing on the music.
Eh?
Nice timing on the music cutting out there.
It didn't cut out for me.
Well, like, it ended the song and now it's looping.
Was
So
that the
was-
end of...
Yeah,
was
that's
that?
the end of the chapter.
That felt like a long chapter, was it?
Yeah, it
long?
was a big one. Because we're nearing the end.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll find out what happens in the next one.
Everyone dies, we already know that.
Oh my goodness.